Hello friends, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, my name is Anna and I'm the girl behind all the paintings. I have not been in front of the camera in a while, so I thought this video would be a fun one to hop on and say hello and give you guys some updates. I feel like I've been so focused on getting better in painting that I just don't even think about talking in front of the camera and connecting with you guys when I'm painting. I kind of just paint and I completely forget about everything. As you know, I've been painting a lot from life, and it's been something that has made me grow so much, and I've been trying to focus on studying one subject matter and then going to the other, because I used to jump around a lot frequently and it was hard for me to actually learn something if I do it once and then I paint something completely different next week. So now that I've been painting from life a lot, I wanted to go back into portraiture and kind of play around with it again and see how I'm doing. I painted my husband a couple of times from life and it did not go well, but it taught me a lot of things. I learned that my drawing skills were pretty weak and I wanted to improve them, so I took a lot of time to really study the foundations of a face and drawing a face and how to do that and how to really achieve a good likeness in your portraiture. So this was kind of my first exercise coming back from all that studying that I did, and yeah, this was the result. If you're not familiar with this painting, this is a master copy by Sargent. He painted a portrait of Claude Monet and I'm really happy with the results of this painting. I feel like I captured a pretty good likeness and I certainly learned a lot about drawing and colors and everything, so I thought it'd be great to share this process with you guys and give you guys some tips and things that I've learned while I paint this. Okay, so I think that's enough for the updates. Let's get into this painting. So I started off with a background just to stain my canvas panel. I'm working in water mixed with oils here, but I used a mixture of ultramarine blue and transparent red oxide for the background. And you saw me wipe out just the really big shape of the head just to see where the placement of it will be. So mainly the top of the head and how big the head is, and then the width of his body. And now I'm using the back of my brush to really carve out the features of the face without any details. So just placing where the eye will be, the nose, the ear, and things like that. I usually start off with my darks, so that's what I'm doing here. So I'm just using a mixture of ultramarine blue, transparent red oxide, and just a little bit of burnt umber just to start to make it a little less transparent of a color. And I'm blocking in the hair, the beard, and the suit, as well as some shadows in the face, so basically the eye socket and behind the ear. Something that I learned while I was really doing my research about painting a portrait was to start painting with just 3 values. So a really bright value, a mid-tone, and the shadows. So for me, I didn't go the lightest that I could. I didn't put in the highlights right away. I wanted to leave that a little bit more towards the end of the process, not in the block-in stage. But you can see here I have my shadows. a light value and a mid-tone, just so you can create these planes of the face. And then once I've done that, I went ahead and really made that light value, which is on the forehead. The forehead is basically very, very, very light, and I know this looks really white right now, but once everything gets added onto the painting, you'll see that it's actually not that white. So I continued on adding in all these wonderful values in the face, using a lot of different colors to play around and help with showing the different planes on the face, and working in this eye socket here, which probably was the hardest part that I really tried to nail, but I had a really hard time. I played around with the eye a lot, but another thing that I learned was to work on one feature of the face and then work outwards from there. So for me, I worked on the eye as much as I can, making sure that it was the correct size, making sure it was also placed in the right place of the face and the right angle and all these things. And then once I was pleased with the eye, I worked on the nose, and I went from there and started to develop the face. Again, like I mentioned, that eye that you see right there is not the final eye. I end up playing around with it a lot because I realized that there was just something off there that I couldn't figure out. And I feel like studying this painting really made me realize how Sargent is really a master. I started to catch things that I wasn't catching before, so I think that I fixed it towards the end. I really like how it came out, but that's pretty much how I went about building the structure of this face. Here I am adding in a lighter value in the hair just to show that his head is round and that side of his head has some shine from the light that's hitting him from above. Coming towards the end of this painting, I am just adding in all these final little touches to really bring this portrait to life. And just like that, we are done with this portrait. I am so happy about it. I actually posted this entire process up on my Patreon page so that you don't miss any of the steps and some more in-depth description of what I'm doing. I also have a video of my color mixing palette, so that's also really helpful. If you're interested in checking that out, I'll leave my Patreon link down below. Thank you so much for being here. I really hope that you enjoyed this video and you learned something, or maybe it inspired you to paint today. And if so, I wish you a really happy painting session. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos like this, and I'll see you here very soon.